I really thought I was done with this. My hole felt very satisfied. But then YouTube kept recommending me content, and that sort of started giving me ideas. Basically, we've got another hole to dig, and we're gonna need a lot of lights. And we're gonna start with a fresh file because we need to do this as efficiently as possible. And that's also because they patched a lot of the glitches that would have made this a lot easier 2 days ago. So, lucky me. To begin, we're just gonna look for some surface level rocks that often spawn nearby, so you don't have to go more than 2 layers down to start seeing them. Or they've also changed that, so now you gotta go 3 layers down, but we can get some really easy money just by going 3 layers down. Our first $3, which simply tops up our energy. I am 45 seconds into this and already annoyed. But there's another big beautiful stone, which translates into a bigger shovel already, and we haven't even left the grass. Which means finding the stones will be much easier again. I watch speedrunners do this and they find 1,000,000 stones in half a second. I just don't get that lucky. But the new shovel does help a lot. We're finding these stones much quicker, even for only $3. Next upgrade, bigger battery. And it's probably a good time to start digging downwards anyway, that way we can start finding bigger, better, more valuable stuff. Because as slow as this feels for me, it's actually been pretty quick progress.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a 14 coffee idea.
We found the coal we've been after, so that's even more money for us, which means we can get a bigger inventory. And we get our jetpack and our battery charged again. My main goal right now really is just getting the drill. Getting the max upgraded drill so we can move ground as fast as humanly possible. We did just find our first few pieces of iron, so that's going to increase our income exponentially. We have located our object down there. There is iron nearby as well, so we'll keep going in that direction for some easy money. Now that I'm digging around for whatever this is, I feel like it'd be better off just digging downwards to higher value ore. But we still got $14 for that, and that's considerable because even after we charge, we'll still get a bigger shovel, which makes our progress downwards ever faster. And we immediately find the money bag, $23 extra, which is considerable at this point. Inventory is once again full, and that is important. We need to destroy little to no ore. $14 more, which means we can get a bigger backpack. You'd really think that digging this hole once in your lifetime would be enough, but this is like the 6th time I've done this. Which, if that's not a cry for help, I don't know what is. And that's pretty annoyingly early to be hitting a rock and have to shift the hole over, but it's gonna be an annoying night. We just found a new ore, which is copper, and the jetpack barely let us out of the hole. But that added $33 for that load of ores, which feels really good. That means we can get a bigger battery, which means we're going deeper. The whole thing does feel naturally lighter down here for some reason. Basically, what we're doing here today is digging out the entire hole, not destroying any ore along the way if we can help it, which means probably not using any bombs, because I want to see how many lights we can buy if you mine all the ore. Which again is why this is so annoying to do it now, because there was a lot of exploits where you could mine the whole thing in an instant, then you would just go pick up the ore. But no, we're gonna have to mine the entire thing. My jetpack is currently not very strong, so I'm actually gonna leave the hole now, because we're gonna burn like a nuclear reactor's worth of energy to get out. But that was $30, so that does mean we get a better jetpack. So that's obviously going to keep it new and exciting. And we found our first cavern down at about the 12-meter mark, and it does look a lot lighter than he's used to. So that's nice, so you guys will actually be able to see what I'm doing without me having to purchase lights already. At least somewhat. This is still going to be a lot darker for you guys than it is for me. What I might have to do for you guys to see this is actually work down the side. That way I can place lights permanently on the sides. Even just mining surface level stuff, I easily made another $100 for the inventory, so I can see how this idea is going to escalate. So then it's back to my sunny hole again. I could only take so much surface level ore before I had to push down just a little bit further, but I immediately dropped onto this thing, which is easy money. I've also got to be really careful not to die while doing this, because if we die, we lose ore that way as well. But thanks to my pushing extra deep, 170 easy dollars. As I was working my way into the tomb, we did find our first gold, so that's going to give us $50 for a total of 190. Otherwise known as painfully close to being able to afford another upgrade. Luckily I left the piggy bank sitting right here, so when I need a few spare dollars I can just harvest garbage. But that actually worked, provided this doesn't cost more than $2, we get a better shovel. The next load from the dark depths was worth $250. I also realized I did just get hurt there and I had to spend $1 on healing, so even getting hurt is not really what we should be doing. We gotta try and do this sort of flawlessly. So this is actually going to turn into a fairly hard, stressful challenge, but there is $60, 4 lamps, 2 dynamites. Now, for the sake of you guys being able to see, I'm going to put a light, also because we can follow the wall straight down for here for a while. And this will be fun, because now you guys can join me in my hole again. Definitely let my battery get lower than I should have there, but we got another $105 for our effort. So next I'm going to make my battery bigger, that way that doesn't happen again. I've also found this sort of curious phenomenon where there's no ore. I found an absolute dead spot and I'm not sure why. So it's back to the piggy bank for an easy $27, which means we can get a full charge. While I was doing that, I've also realized how hard it's going to be to use the drill to not like destroy ore at this level, so I might actually do the first 3 meters with the shovel. Since this is technically a wall and I shouldn't need to destroy this later, I'm going to place a light here so we can see again and I can mine ore. And then I can also see little crumbs that I missed everywhere. This is where the bigger earning is going to start. Gold will quickly transition into platinum and diamonds. So that was $405 for the extra gold. So I'm definitely going to take a bigger backpack, which means we can hold more junk for even more earnings per hole. I aborted my hole early because I was getting nervous about energy levels, which was stupid in hindsight, but there's $430. And then I'm going to go back to my piggy bank for a second because this is just very satisfying and easy. And just like that, another $40. That means even after the energy charge, we get the drill. I'm just going to go for the drill. I'm just going to have to be really careful when we're mining these stuff like this, basically like go and sell immediately. That way we don't destroy ore. But we'll get the bigger backpack before we start up there where there's going to be multiple ores a lot. Down deeper, they're a little bit further apart, so we won't destroy any. My goal for right now is to make it down to the bottom pretty quickly so we can start mining diamonds so we can get upgrades as quick as possible, because once we're max upgraded, we'll be able to dig at maximum speed. With the money I just made from that, we're going to upgrade our inventory. Just found my first platinum down here in the dark. We're in the dark because it took me a minute to find a way to get past the lava rock without blowing it up. And I think I found another spot that's reasonably safe for a light, so long as there's not a lava rock like right here. And we'll continue on downwards. We found another cavern, but before getting any deeper, I wanted to cash out because we have $1,600 now, which means I have iron shovel. So we'll dig big fast. So especially when we're up here, we're absolutely going to tear through the dirt. Although there is still a lot of it down there. And I gotta be careful here because we're going to start destroying ore really quickly. I just realized that I haven't actually bought any lights yet. I used the few that came from the mineshaft thing above me, and there should be another mineshaft somewhere down below we can also get lights from. So because we finally started getting into diamond and platinum territory, that's worth $1,200. We did take just a smidge of damage, so that's going to cost $1 to replace. Our jetpack is also going to get stronger. The next load of ore to come out of there was 1,362, so the upgrades are going to come very quickly now. Where we're going to take a bigger battery so we can work our way down faster. See, part of the trick to doing this is to not mine it out so big so you can actually see how much work you have ahead of you. If you can only ever see a dirt wall, you think, hey, we might be almost done. Because psychologically, if you realize you're about to spend the next 12 hours of your life in the hole, you're going to go crazy. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but I found a diamond cavern. And even with only 5 diamonds on board, that was still $2,400. Which definitely means we're getting a full 40 slots. Which is going to be good for the surface because we can suck up an awful lot of those before we're going to risk destroying them. Okay, that time we mined basically down to 100 meters. It was too dark, so we couldn't really show it, but there's 16 diamonds, $4,000, which is easily enough for the final upgrade. Now, I've just got to remove a whole bunch of dirt, and I've got to do it without bombs or destroying ore, so this is going to be extraordinarily painful. Is it weird that I actually find this surface level mining very satisfying? Like, I know this is by far the densest layer of stuff, so we got to enjoy it while it lasts. Also, one of the reasons the upgraded jetpack is so important is so that when you're running back, you can fly up and out of there in a hurry. And just like that, the hole is about 4 meters deep, and we still have a long ways to go. But I feel like that's probably the worst part of it. I literally just took fall damage jumping in here. But now the rocks are a little more dispersed, believe it or not, and I'm still finding this very satisfying. It could also be really easy at this point to zone out and start just like destroying a bunch of rocks and not realizing it, because this is going to take a while and it's a lot of the same stuff. Bit by bit, we're making progress. We found the first 3 really big rocks down here. 10 meters, so we're approximately 10% of the way there. It will get a little quicker though because I'm going to fill up my backpack with ore far less quickly so I can spend more time in the dirt where I belong. I think I was probably a mole in a past life. Also, I don't remember how much money I had before I started mining the top layer, but we now have $8,000, so you can see for yourself how much money that top layer is worth. And filling out your backpack with this stuff is worth about $200 at this point. There is something very satisfying about this process. We're down to about the 15 meter mark, so we're getting more silver and more money. We're up to about $10,000, which should buy a lot of lamps. 15 meters looks like this. It's also really annoying when I'm working along and I look up and notice those little crumbs. I'm trying to get them as I go, but they can sneak up everywhere. I thought that digging from the top down would give us more light, and then I realized there's a bunch of floating potatoes in the way. Did you see it? I sure did. Well, this is awkward. I didn't actually want to find any treasure along the way, but I guess I'll take it. It's been quite some time. I'm getting very tired and starting to make stupid mistakes, but I think we're about halfway there. The red rocks are 50%, which would make me want to cry if I wasn't enjoying this so damn much. I'm down to about the 70-meter mark and we've got $35,000 in the bank. I think my favorite thing at the 75-meter mark, aside from the glowy rocks, is the fun travel time I have now. I gotta fly all the way out of the hole just to bring my battery back, and that's really starting to take a lot of time. Isn't it magnificent from the bottom? I'm at 99 meters, this is the last bit of dirt. This is officially the last few dirt crumbs. Doing it this way took closer to 6 hours, but now we know it's about $100,000, which is enough money for 3,840 lamps. But we obviously need to remove these rocks and that's going to take a few bombs. But if I can get into this thing fairly easily, I should get a few more bombs for free out of there. So we're going to drop a bomb right down in there and hopefully that blows up all of those rocks. No idea where that went. So we're off to a good start. I'm going to try and throw this one more right there and we're going to get away. Okay, we opened up a little bit, but we can't get in yet. But I did actually find another little pocket of dirt hiding under that rock that's got some ore in it. So there's another $520. And no matter what we do, I think we can all concede we're going to need at least 10 dynamites to remove all of those rocks. But we're going to start with only 10 just for now, so we can start removing some of these very efficiently. I screwed that up, but at least I took out those. There's actually dirt inside the rocks. That's what's happening. We've got more dirt to move. And yes, that was excitement in my voice. The bombs are definitely hard to use efficiently, especially because you got to fly around and take a little bit of damage while trying to place them like very gently in a crack. And that was a complete waste. Alright, well, we'll make this work. So the bombs we're not going to be able to use very efficiently given the rate we're going, but we'll just do our best to waste as few bombs as possible. I should have access to in here now at least so we can get some free ones. We can afford almost 4,000 lights as it is, so I think that's still going to be plenty no matter how stupidly we bomb things. And we got another 3 dynamites out of that thing. When the stones sit like that, it's easy because I can just balance the bomb in between 2 of them. On a single one, it's actually really hard to bomb. It turns out it is really hard to balance a dynamite on top of a single rock, so I'm trying to kind of go like that. That way if it does fall over the edge, it will at least hopefully hit a nearby rock. And some of these lower dirt clumps should make enough money back to pay for the dynamite itself. The ones even lower will actually maybe even make a profit. Well, this is amusing. Apparently there's still buried treasure in here, despite the fact I've mined out 99% of this entire hole. Oh, I forgot about the other key. Actually, that's a good point, because our dynamite radius is twice as big. So that means I can hopefully be a little bit less precise with my bombs and still get away with it. So it turns out there was actually a lot of gems hiding within the rocks, and these are still pretty high up. So we've still got money to make with these hot potatoes. Well, I finally just mined the remaining potatoes with the exception that one stuck in the wall. But doing that did actually earn me an extra $15,000, which is considerable. I don't offhand know how many lamps that's going to be, but I bet it's an auto clicker's worth. That sound is absolutely horrible. And I'm only just realizing now how long it's going to take me to place all of these. Even with an auto clicker, this took a minute. So basically, mining all of the ore in the pit, mostly efficiently, will get you 4,555 lights. So I think I'm going to start to put some of the lights around this area. Because at least as the game was coded, every time you add a light, it simply adds light, and they will stack infinitely. So there's 9 lights. It also occurs to me now that since they've updated the game, they might have changed the lighting arrangement, but I'm just going to stick some lights on for now. We'll see what happens. Well, there's a lot more lights. It is brighter, but I don't know if they still have the compounding effect that they used to. I do feel like it's getting slightly brighter though, so we're just going to keep stacking them up. And I've also learned that you can make entire bridges and layers out of lights. That is very bright over there. Yeah, you can definitely tell the more lights that stack up, the brighter it gets, because this is white. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. And we're definitely committing to this now. I'm saving. So I just need to connect all the strands together. It's going to get hard to see pretty soon. And that's only 500 lights. It's starting to get pretty bright when I look in this direction. When I look this way, it's a whole other level of bright. You know, it's kind of funny because the video went from being way too dark, now it's way too bright. Bit by bit, it's growing. It's not too bad when I'm looking directly at the lights, but we're getting some bright spots where it's getting a little bit hard to work. Plus my computer's being a massive baby and really starting to get hot, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, we're gonna look again before the game completely quits on me. We've got 600 lights left to place. We're just gonna peer over the edge into the sun. Isn't it beautiful? I accidentally fell through a gap, so we're gonna look at it from below. It's actually really hard to fly through it because you get very blind when you get close. I've officially placed the last of the lights, 4,500 of them. Most of everything is just a white blur. Even the ground is just sort of, I can't really tell what the edges or holes or anything are anymore. It's just a whole lot of light. So if you've ever wondered how many lights you could buy in the game and what you could do with them, here's an idea. And that was worth every painstaking hour I put into it.